Yes. What do you mean?
We started recording again.
Like, do you have to pee?
Yeah, do you have to pee?
No, I'm good.
Do you want a drink?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So this one was with me DMing. The first time that I DM'd a story. I think you were playing Undead or Jack the Undead. The skeleton.
Yeah, I remember this.
The skeleton wizard who had 4 hit points.
Yeah, 4 hit points.
And
I was like 7'8", like 7'8".
Yeah, you were tall, and then you were quite tall, and then you only had 4 hit points, and you were immortal.
Yeah.
But anything that had to do with health, you took a -1 to that.
Yeah.
So,
it ruined everything.
Yeah. So, like, including when you level up, you get 1 less health, minimum of 1.
Yeah.
Which...
And for the most part, that's just, I don't gain any health through
Pretty much. You'd be at level 20 and you'd have 20 hit points. Which would be flipping hilarious. But you're immortal. So you can't die. You just get knocked unconscious a lot.
I resurrected myself at one point.
Yeah, because your body just, like, Iron Gianted back together. So it was you, the immortal skeleton wizard with 4 hit points. My friend who lives over in California, who was playing a dragonborn fighter with a greatsword. He was the only one of you that did any damage. And then Amber did some pretty. No, you all did some pretty considerable damage. Y'all just picked hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was designing a dungeon. I love designing dungeons. And, I go, how hard do you want me to make this dungeon? And they go, yes. I go, how hard do you want me to make this dungeon? And they go, yes. I'm like, so hardest difficulty I can make it without you guys constantly dying. Yes. Cool.
I have an obsession with letters, I don't know why.
Yeah. So I nicknamed this dungeon the Death Dungeon. Nobody could ever die in it. If you died, you revived, and you started at the beginning of the dungeon, but every single room reset after 3 minutes. So if you went forward, and then was in a room for 3 minutes, and then you went back into that other room that you just killed giant scorpion things in, their giant scorpion things are now revived, and you have to fight them all over again. This was supposed to be like this is gonna take like 4 or 5 sessions to get through in this dungeon. So, and it's gonna be really flipping annoying. But, y'all took like 20 minutes to get into the first room.
Yeah, we took way too long.
Yeah, because it like started you off in the first room, and this projection of a dude showed up, and he like explained how the whole dungeon worked, and then you guys were like, okay, battle formation. I'll get to, you open the door, you stand to one side, you get to I'll open the door, you're ready with a sword.
That was your battle buddy.
Yeah, like,
doing all that.
Like, I'll open the door, get ready with a sword, or no, I'll stand here with a sword, you open the door, you stand in the back and have your bow drawn, ready to fire at whatever comes through this flipping, or whatever's on the end of this flipping door. And I go, okay, so you're opening the door, and then you open the door, and then a massive gust of wind pushes all 3 of you into the back wall, and then just, the guy pops up again, and he's like, oh, I forgot, by the way, you can't die here. Bye. And then you guys are like, okay, somebody open the flipping door again. And you all like braced, and somebody opened the door again, and then nothing happened, and all of you went out. And after like 20 minutes of negotiating whether or not you should go to the door in front of you, the door to your left, or the door to your right.
We split up.
Yeah, you ended up splitting up at first. And then Amber went, hey, why don't you guys help me with this door? And
I switched spots somehow.
Yeah.
I was over by, what's his name?
Van.
Van. And then I switched over by Amber midway through, and no one knew how.
Yeah. No, because Amber went, y'all should come over here and help me with this door.
Yeah.
And you guys went, okay, sure.
But
Why not?
Van was
All right,
still
y'all.
discovering what was in that room.
Yeah. And he's like, you know what? Fine, cool, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And y'all chose the room that would kill you.
Yep.
The room on the left was perfectly fine. The room on the right, y'all were gonna die.
And quite frankly, we did.
So you go into this big, well-lit room with a hole in the middle of it. It's just a hole, and it's a really dark hole. And I had you guys randomly roll dice. They were stealth checks.
Yeah,
And,
you didn't tell us anything.
No, because it wasn't. That was the whole point. Is like y'all had to figure it out. I had Amber rolling stealth checks because Amber was the first one in the room, and then you guys showed up, and then you guys failed the stealth checks.
Yeah, and we ruined it.
And then over the course of 12 seconds, this flipping massive cobra centipede thing.
It was something.
It was something that I made up. It was just this massive cobra centipede thing. And one of them popped out of the flipping hole and started attacking you guys.
Yeah, we had no brace period.
No.
We were just straight up.
And luckily, he missed the first attack. And Van just went, hack it in the face. And
he woke up and chose violence.
Yeah,
That's the
he was like,
easiest way to put
whack it. Well, it did try to bite him, so...
Yeah, but he gave it no warning. He just went at it.
Yeah, he hacked it in the flipping neck, and he scored a critical. So he hacked it in the flipping neck and scored a critical. So he was, so he nearly decapitated the thing. He got I think it was 12 points of damage in one hit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then you were like, okay, I'm gonna run in the corner and figure out what I can do from there. That's it? That's it. Cool. And then
It was one of the best decisions I could have made.
Yes. And then Amber went up and Amber flipping shot it point blank with an arrow right in the eye.
She made it so mad.
Yeah. And then its turn came up and it one-shot her with 9 points of damage. It just one-shot her with 9 points of damage. I rolled for that damage, and she got insta-killed. Well, not killed, but she was knocked unconscious with, necrotic holes in her. From, the massive fangs of this thing. And, so she was knocked unconscious, and then it was Van's turn, and he goes, chop its head off again. So, he goes to lob its head off again, and I think he misses. So, the snake pulled its head back and he missed and he scraped across the floor. And then it was your turn. And it was your turn and you spent your entire turn, grabbing Amber's body and dragging it backwards. And
I took the hits for her as well after that.
Yeah. And it was the snake's turn. Then the snake flipping bit Van, and he had just enough hit points to not immediately die the second that it hit him. And then he's like, okay, backhand with the sword, going for the decap again, and he successfully decapitates. It only had 2 health points left, and he successfully decapitated the thing with 7 hit points of damage. And so that one's head falls off. And then right as that one starts slumping back into the hole, another one pops up.
Yeah, we got screwed over.
Yeah, well, oh no, the second one popped up just before he decapitated the head of the first one, and then it started unraveling itself and filling the flipping room.
Yeah, all around it.
It had that thing had 60 feet of movement, by the way. It was really dangerous.
Crazy to think.
And I think at that point at that point, Van just went, or no, you said, okay, I'm gonna figure out what this spell does, and you cast Magic Missile, which shoots 3 missiles that each do 1d4 plus 1 damage. And you rocked that thing.
Yeah, I messed it up pretty bad.
Yeah, it took like 3 shots direct, like one to the one side of the face, one to the other side of the face, and one as an uppercut to the jaw, and it like dazed it, and it was like freaking out, and it was like, oh god, what's going on? And I think it did like max damage. It did like max 12 points of damage, and then Van flipping threw an axe at it, and then missed completely.
Yep.
And then it was the snake's turn. The snake continued to unravel more and then went to go and attack Van and missed. And then Van went, and he's like, forget throwing things. And he ran up to it, like cleaved its face in half, and left it at 1 hit point. It left it at 1 hit point. And then Amber's turn popped up, and she returned to consciousness with 1 hit point, because she rolled a natural 20 on her death saves. So she just went, cool, and she grabbed her bow, pulled it back, and shot him, and shot it in the flipping face, like right where the great sword had cut it in half. It's like got him right in the flipping brain.
Yeah. We all messed it up really bad.
Yeah. No. It didn't go to attack Van, it attacked you.
Did it?
Yeah, because it like wrapped itself around you and then crushed you to death in 1 hit.
No, it wrapped itself around me, and then it couldn't do damage because of how I was built.
No, it crushed you for all 4 points of damage.
Because what I did was I deconstructed myself.
Oh,
Remember?
Yeah.
We had that conversation.
You were just being held, and then you just went, okay, fall apart.
Yeah, and I just hit the floor.
I'm like, sure, but you're gonna have to spend the whole 10 rounds rebuilding yourself. Cool. And then you got shot in the face. It got shot in the flipping face, and then it immediately just slumped to the floor. And then it was just dead. There was just these 2 massive things dead.
And we killed them a lot easier than we were supposed to.
Yeah. Although, one of you was at 3 hit points, and the other 2 were at 1 and 0. So, like, what you guys decided to take a long rest, and just sit there and take a rest. I'm like, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, we just camped out.
Yeah. So somebody started a fire with, like, barrels that were in the corners of the room, and Amber went, you know what, really quick, I'm gonna cast a spell. You know thaumaturgy, right? Yeah, I'm gonna open all the doors, because the room was filled with just random doors. And most of them led to nowhere. Like, she opened all the doors, and like, a bunch of them just seemed to lead to random dark rooms, and then there was the 3 ahead of you guys to the north that looked to be all in... They seemed to all lead to the same room, but not the same room at the same time. And then, one of the rooms, there was a big thing in that dungeon. If you went into a room that, or if you went through...
It's a big thing.
If you went into a door that didn't lead anywhere specific, it would just lead you to a random other door. And I run what is called a randomness roll, which is just something random happens while you're sitting around and doing nothing. And I rolled a natural 1, which is supposed to be one of you guys gets knocked unconscious. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be a nice DM. And then there was just a dragon flying towards one of the doors, and then it started to breathe fire into the door, and then
you messed us up.
And then right before the fire went through the door slammed, all the doors slammed shut again, because all the doors just magically closed behind you.
Yeah.
And, the doors stayed open just long enough to see where all the doors went. And, yeah, and then Van went down into the hole, and he grabbed a helmet.
I threw myself down there.
Oh yeah, you just kind of flopped.
And I attempted to connect myself to another skeleton.
Yeah. and failed because that's not how that works. But Van found a helmet and a short sword, and I think you found a spell book or something like that.
Spell book and a scroll.
Yeah. I don't remember what was in the spell book or the scroll or any of that, but I remember the helmet was cursed. The helmet was a cursed helmet, so he couldn't remove it, but it gave him a +1 to his AC. Because why not?
Yeah.
And it also let him. I think it was called like a cursed helmet of true sight or something like that. So it let you see invisible creatures, but it also lets you see like nightmarish aberrations and stuff. And you couldn't take it off.
Yeah, it was...
He didn't know this because I didn't explain it to him because none of you guys...
Until he put it on.
Yeah, like, I go, yeah, it kind of just, like, suctions to your head and morphs around your head. And he goes, cool. It's very tight. He goes, can I try to take it off? You can try. He tries to take it off and nothing happens. Good luck. And then the short sword, you guys didn't experience this yet, but that was a faulty short sword of warning, which would have just said, something bad could happen today. What? I don't know. And then, like, somebody would burn their hand on, like, a pot or something, and it would go, I warned you! And that was the entire thing. But it technically counted as a magic item, which would have helped you in the future encounters throughout that dungeon.
Yeah.
But, and then that's where we ended it. That's where we ended it.
Yeah, we just
with y'all
with
y'all next to dead, because it was like 2 a.m.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah. Because we spent like 3 hours. I spent like 3 hours explaining how to make how character sheets worked to you guys, and y'all still didn't know how to use character sheets.
Pretty much.
That was great though.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
It was one of the best.
I was having so much fun with that. Okay. D&D stories. I got like one more of these, and that's pretty much it.
You got more.
I have one more. I have one more that you were a part of. I have a couple more stories.
You have 2 more.
Do we?
With
Yeah.
in the horror campaign?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.